right, guys, what is going on? We got another podcast interview for you today. And here's the deal. If you want to create content that engages your ideal audience and converts them viewers into paying clients, I have an amazing guest on the show today. Annalise Ross is the founder and CEO of AMR Digital Marketing. She's a computer nerd, health freak, travel addict, and serial entrepreneur with a serious love affair for Instagram marketing. Without further ado, I want to introduce Annalise to the show. What is going on?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here talking Instagram, my favorite thing. Going well. How are you?
I'm doing great. So listen, you have a secret admirer. I've been following you on Instagram for a while now, and I'm always looking for the cream of the crop to come on the show. Honest to God, I've had some guests in the past when I first started like 2-3 years ago, and I was like, man, I should have qualified them a little bit better, And so now I only pick the best for the Brand Doctor podcast.
Thank you.
As I watched you sort of grow on Instagram, and I know you put so much like heart into your account, I go, I gotta have this girl on the show because she practices what she preaches, but two, it's really solid information.
Oh, thank you. Well, I mean, you said it yourself. We really try so hard with everything we do, and Instagram to me is just kind of a game of you're always testing new things, trying new things. And it's really getting into the fun of that game and learning to love the game. And I love the game.
I love it. Okay. So talk to me. Why did you pick Instagram for your sort of key platform to really master?
Absolutely. So we really do work with all of the platforms, and Instagram is my personal favorite just because, and I'm always telling my audience this as well, you can't spread yourself too thin with social media, especially if you're a solopreneur, entrepreneur just starting out, you have a small budget. You could drive yourself crazy trying to be everywhere, do everything the best. Instagram is the place that I've found that communities really cultivate. That's where conversation happens, people engage. And as an educator and as a social media person, that's really what I'm looking for. That's the part I love, is getting to know people, answering questions, really getting to understand people. And Instagram is really where those conversations are happening. So the short answer, that's really why Instagram is my number one love.
All right, so let's get into it. So where are most people going wrong when it comes to trying to convert their followers into paying clients on Instagram?
Yes. So the number one, I guess, mistake that we see a lot is, especially from brands, you're really not talking about yourself and you're not talking about your products. You're not posting for yourself. Everything you post is for your audience. And if you're not talking directly to them as if they're a person, then you're doing it wrong. You're not going to connect with them. They're not going to feel like they relate to your content. It's going to feel self-serving. And nothing sticks out more on Instagram than the salesy, self-serving ad type of content. It just doesn't work. People get enough of that on their inbox. We all get so many ads every day. No one wants to subscribe to an ad.
Yeah. I mean, there was a guy, I got an ad served to me yesterday, and he was going on for 60 seconds about how he was going to help you market your business without running ads.
In an ad.
And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, so you're giving us a bad name. Like, what the hell is the matter with you?
It's so true. And you see it all the time. And it's true. Instagram is a saturated platform now. There's a lot of people out there. And the way to really stick out and to be genuine is to talk to people like they're people, and to remember that they're on the other side of the screen. And really, you can't go into Instagram with the intention of selling. You have to be in it for the long game. Studies even show people have to see things between 6 and 8 times before they buy. So
I thought it was more than that.
Yeah, minimum. After they're following you, first they have to follow you. Then once they're following you, they have to see you, they have to relate to it, and they have to have 6 to 8 times where they're actually thinking of, oh, this actually could be a good fit for me. They get me, they understand me. So how are you going to get that reaction? Multiple times, every time you post. That's really the question that you need to be asking. And we tell all of our clients this before anything ever goes live. The one question you should ask is, what solution is this giving to my customer, to my end customer? And if you can't answer it in 3 seconds, don't post it.
Yeah. So we tell our clients use the wait framework. Why am I talking?
Yes.
Wait, WAIT. Why am I talking? And if you don't have a good answer, you know what to do.
And if it's not an answer that you would openly tell your customers, if you're talking because you desperately need to increase sales this quarter, not a good enough reason. It's going to show through.
Right. Okay, good. So I think we hammered it out. Like, we know what not to do, right?
Yeah.
Now let's give our audience some real tactical, practical things. That's one thing they love about the show, is that we give them what they can take this today and start doing this.
I love it.
So what are some things that you would suggest to really help start to turn those viewers into clients?
Yeah. So number one, the first thing when it comes to social media, you don't have to totally reinvent the wheel. If you're out there just doing random things, testing a bazillion things, you're going to be wasting your time. So we always start with research. Make a list of the 10 people who you really admire, who are just killing it in your space, the industry leaders, the thought leaders. Look at what they're doing. What's working for them? What are people reacting to? Oftentimes, really, we're all about finding trends. And oftentimes those trends, they're all education. You want to give little tidbits of information that are applicable, that people can go home, try that day. And when it works for them, they're going to think of you and have that aha moment of, wow, I need more of this. This is amazing. This is going to change the game. So if you have no idea what that content's going to be, you start with the research. You make that list, you start tracking them. You look at what are their best performing posts and why. What do they have in common? Then you start testing it out for yourself. Obviously, put your own twist on it. You want to make it relevant to what does your ideal customer really, really need? What are they going to find valuable? And a lot of times we kind of get in this battle in our head of, oh, am I giving away too much for free? Am I going to give away all of my value and then there's not going to be anything left? And the answer is always no. Your value is in you. You can tell people exactly how to do it, and 99% of people won't do it. But they'll know that you know what you're doing, that they can do it. Maybe they just don't want to, and that's why they're going to hire you. Or maybe they do it, it works, and then they want more. So it's always that giving education, always educating. And really the best way to do this is to make a plan. So it's almost like you're a teacher and writing out a lesson plan for the whole month of where are we going to start? Start from the basics and get more in depth. And if you have that structure, then when you go to post, you're not just randomly scanning for, oh, I have to post something. What is it going to be? You have intention and you have value that you're providing, and people start to expect that value from you. So they start showing up like, what is that tip that we're going to get today? I really need that. I can't wait to see it. These are working so well for me. And that's where you really start to cultivate that community around your brand and that audience that wants to buy from you, wants to support you, and feels like they need you. And you need them too. It's really a mutual relationship.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I was very hesitant to do IGTVs when it first came out. And one of the things that I realized was, like, now that they put it in when you do an IGTV, you can post it as a post, right? As a preview, right? The first 60 seconds. People sit there and wait every day for that IGTV to come out. And then when it doesn't, I'm getting DMs going, where's the IGTV, Henry? Like, I'm looking for it. Like, I usually do it in the morning, and I was busy this morning, so I couldn't do it. I know I have DMs like, where's my IGTV, right? And what's great about that is it gives you a little bit longer of a extension of content, up to 10 minutes. Well, for me, I know some people get longer depending on who they are, but that's your chance to really deliver a great message and a valuable message and really get those people to really lock on to what it is that you're saying. What I love about you is your imagery really grabs my attention, but your captions really hammer it home. And so can you talk about that a little bit more?
Yes. Yeah. So, well, just hitting on your first point with the IGTV first, Instagram loves when you use their new features. So when there's a new feature, you always want to test it out, and Instagram will reward you for it. They want you to use those features, and when they see you're using it, it bumps you up. They show it more. They show those IGTVs because they want that feature to take off. So always use the new features. On to captions. Captions are my favorite. Really, everyone thinks of Instagram as this visual platform. It's all about the photos. It's all about the videos. You have to have high quality visuals, but especially if you're small, really a picture is worth 1,000 words, but that caption's worth just as many. And you have to be using that space. It's really precious real estate. And that's the place where you really get into the relatability, the persuasion. It's really hard to take a photo, especially if it's a photo of yourself, and have someone relate to it and be like, oh, I see myself in them. The caption is where you really can hammer in on those details. And there's actually a formula that we use for all of our captions. And so
you mind if you share it?
Yeah, of course. So the step one is the headline. This is really like the hook of your caption. The goal of this one sentence is to get people to press that read more button. If they don't press the read more button, then there's no point in having the rest of the caption. So one mistake we see all the time is people will fill this with emojis or just some one word like cute heart emoji. No. This is where you really need to hook people in. You want to say, maybe it's a cute photo, but instead you might say, the one day that changed my whole life, ... People are going to be like, what happened that day? That's a good hook. Then you go into part two, which is the relatability. This is the part where you want to really hit, who are you talking to? Who is your ideal client? And why is this relevant to them? So maybe for us, our ideal clients are entrepreneurs and small businesses. So maybe the one day that changed my whole life was the day that I saw an ad that inspired me. I'm going to start my own business. I didn't know what it was, but I knew I was going to do it. And people have that moment as well. It might not be, they didn't see the same ad, but everyone has that moment where they know, okay, I'm going to do this, and you really commit to it. So that's the relatability piece.
Okay.
Then you go into the educating, which is really the meat. Why are you posting this post? What are you teaching? And you teach it. So maybe it might be how you take that idea of I'm going to start something and actually turn it into a profitable business. And you give 3 tips. Whatever it is, that's the teaching. And then the fourth part, really, this is one of the most, I guess they're all important, but this is really the part that converts, is the call to action. You have to have a call to action. And if you don't, I see this all the time, even with paid ads where people are paying to get their content in front of people and they're still not putting a call to action. And then you're just going to read it and be like, great, move on.
Now, do you do this for every post? Because, you know, you don't want to feel like you're jamming a hammer down somebody's throat.
Yeah.
So I would love to get
So there's multiple kinds of call to actions. And this is a big thing that people misconceive because it's awkward. You don't want to be asking people to buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. No one wants to see that, like we said. So a call to action can be, there's many different categories. A call to action is just calling someone to take any action. It can be like this post if you agree. It can be an engaging question. It can be asking people if they have any questions. You just taught something with a ton of value packed into a small space. Chances are people have questions. So ask them if they have questions and give them a space where they can get answers. And that's a call to action. So usually what we do, I would say 80% of your call to actions are just engagements and things that are really for them. asking them to ask questions, creating a safe space for community. And then 20% of the time you can do that really hard sell, which is visit my website, buy from me, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. But really people underestimate, I think, the value of the call to actions that are just small things that anyone can do. Ask if you have questions. One of the things that we do sometimes that gets a ton of response is we'll teach something, we'll tell people to try it out, and then we'll ask them to leave a comment below. And if they comment, we'll go and see if they tried it out and give feedback. And it works like a charm because people want feedback. People who want to learn want to make sure they're doing it right. And really, if you're here to teach, that's what you're here to do. And that is a valuable call to action.
Ooh.
So
I love that you broke down the different types of CTAs, because I think we all get a little confused sometimes when we hear the word CTA. We're like, oh, that means they need to buy our stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not the case. You know, a simple call to action, like you said, is, do you have any questions? Drop them in the comments below. That's a great call to action. You know, and you'll see what happens. Like, don't expect people to do what you want them to do.
Yeah.
They don't know. Like, they're not mind readers. So you got to tell them. You got to tell them. So I got to get rid of this cough. I sound like a 90-year-old smoker, and I had it for like 4 days now. Driving me crazy.
Those are the worst. They just linger. They don't go away.
I want to sort of take a turn here, start to wrap things up a little bit, because I value your time. So I want to get into the doc's prescription and really share with our audience 3 things from this conversation that I really want you to take and run with. First and foremost, I think we need to stop talking about ourselves so much on social media, right? Especially if we're leveraging social media for our business, and be more client facing and be more talking to them and explaining how you can help them. And again, educating, advising, teaching, serving, those are the ways to do that. When you take that turn, right, you're going to see a huge difference in the way people start to engage with your account. Second thing, I love what you said. We don't do enough of this. And I raise my hand because I'm guilty of this as well. But we don't do enough research, because it's the unsexy, right, thing to do in business. Everybody wants to do the fun stuff, but not the unsexy stuff. So I like what you said. 10 competitors, 10 people out there that are crushing it. Study them. Turn on their notifications and begin to take a peek at what it is that they're doing and model the success. Don't copy it. All right.
Yes.
Last but not least, make that game plan. What does your social media strategy look like? Write it out. Open up a Google Doc and write out a 30-day plan. There's plenty of resources out there that can help you structure this. Very, very easy. I go to Pinterest. I literally go to Pinterest and type in content calendar, and there's a gazillion little ads and stuff that pop up that give me a great sense of like direction. So last but not least, I usually do 3, but I got to do a bonus one today because this was powerful. So when you're writing the caption, whether it's a YouTube video, Instagram video, LinkedIn post, whatever, on Facebook, use this framework. I love it. Headline and hook. If that hook isn't right, they're not going to read the rest. So make sure that it's curiosity based, that it grabs them by the throat, that it's catchy, right? And then move on to the relatability. So if you do your homework right and you know who you're serving, chances are you're going to put the right message out to them. Okay. The next thing is educate. So give them something that they can actually use. There's too much bullshit out there and this fluffy stuff. People want substance. Like when I read book reviews on Google and I shouldn't say Google, Amazon, the number one complaint is the book didn't have substance. The marketer didn't have any substance. And that's just that's a reputation killer. That's not a business. That will kill you. So, and then last but not least, don't forget that call to action. let them do something. It doesn't need to be buy my product every single time, but tell them to do something at least once, at least on every post. And you actually whipped my ass in shape with that one, because I need to do more of that. Sometimes I just leave them hanging at the end, and I wonder why the engagement wasn't as big as it was, right? Which leads me into the next question, right? So we like to do every episode, we like to do questions from the community. And so this question, I forget who asked it, but they asked about engagement groups on Instagram. So engagement groups, well, first they want to know yay or nay. Do you agree with them? Do you take action on them, or do you not? So I usually ask that. I usually answer the question first, but I'm going to throw this to you.
Yeah. So this is kind of a multi-layer question, because it really depends on the group. There's so many different kinds of engagement groups. And for anyone who doesn't know what an engagement group is, it's basically like kind of a group message where you just post in it whenever you post a new post, and everyone will go on and comment on it. And there's all different tiers of kind of levels of these. There's ones where it might be 1,000 strangers and you're just supposed to go and like everyone's post when you do a new post, and they'll like yours. And these can be super untargeted. They can be people all over the world, people who aren't even in your target market remotely. Those ones, nay. They're essentially the same as fake engagement. They're real people. They're never going to buy from you. Their comments might be relevant. They're probably going to be something more like, this is cool, or something that's not actually valuable to you and your community. So those ones, huge time suck, and you'll get the numbers up, but they're all going to be vanity numbers. They're not going to be real valuable numbers to you. The other types of engagement groups are ones that you create with people who are in your industry that you know, that maybe you work with. And basically it's an agreement. You're just all going to comment on each other's stuff, support each other's things. Those ones, it depends on what your goals are, but those ones I'm okay with. I think that those can be valuable, especially if you're trying to tap into their audiences. If you have a group of maybe 10 people who are also in the same industry who have audiences that you really like, the way that it works is when they comment on your posts, you're more likely to appear in their followers discover tab. That's the way that the algorithm sorts content that it thinks you're interested in. So it's a good way to kind of tap into their audiences. But these people still, they might become fans of yours, and they might become friends and resources. They're probably not going to become customers. So you kind of have to judge, and this is with a lot of things on social media. You have to judge what are your priorities and where is your time best spent. I mean, I don't even have to answer the question. I mean, you did it better than me, so. It's definitely important. I would just add to that, just be careful, because like from what I gather from Instagram and the research and the information that I read and study is they know what you're doing all the time, from how you're interacting with the DM, like who you're DMing and what you're talking about and how many messages are going back and forth. And if you reach out and they don't respond, like Instagram is picking up on all of this data. So my only concern, because I've done these power likes and power views, I did it all, right? So I can say I did it, it sucked, or I did it and it worked really well, right? Yes, did it jack up my views? Did it jack up my likes? Yes. But what happened was, and here's the point, here's what people don't realize. If you get 4,000 people liking you and liking your posts from a country that you don't even do business in, what's going to happen is Instagram will say, oh, wow, there is, no offense to Egypt, but there are 4,000 people liking your stuff from Egypt. We're going to show your stuff to more Egyptians. It makes sense.
mind you, you don't even service that business. You don't even service that part of the world. And now you have all these people that just interact with you, and they're the completely wrong client or audience. So I would rather have 100 likes from people that would actually buy from me than 100,000 likes from people that I would never do business with, or they would never do business with me in 1,000 years. I learned that the hard way.
And one thing I would add, that's actually what I would do instead of an engagement group, is with Instagram's algorithm, it's the first hour after you post that they really look at the most to see, is this post something that's really going to take off, or is it something that is kind of whatever? And the things that are really popular, it determines how they rank it in the feed and how many people they show it to. So one thing you can do, and that's why most people get caught in this engagement group, because they're like, oh, I need to get engagement in the first hour. So if you want to get real engagement, what I would recommend is stay online for the 1 hour after you post and go and comment on other people's posts that are your ideal client, that are in your target market. Leave genuine, thoughtful comments on their posts.
In the first hour of you posting?
Yes. Okay. Spend that first hour engaging with other people. And those people, chances are they'll come back and support you back. That's the best way to get real, genuine engagement from people who you're targeting these people. So you know that they're your ideal client. You know that they're people you want to connect with.
That is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love, why I love your approach so much is you're very human.
Oh, thank you.
You're very human. Like, I've been around the best marketers on the planet, and like, I love them to death as people, but like, they don't see people as people. They see them as viewers, likes,
numbers,
comments. Yeah, they're numbers. And I get it. Some people are just that type of person, and they're driven by that. I think you and I are cut from the same cloth in the sense where I would rather have that human connection and make that stick.
And really, as marketers, that's our job. We are that human link between a brand and a consumer. And as humans, we buy emotionally. We do everything emotionally. We like posts emotionally because we feel connected to them, not because a million other people are liking them. We might check something out, but we're not going to feel connected to that just because a million people liked it.
No. Well, awesome stuff. So before I forget, where can people learn more about you and what you do to help them grow on Instagram?
Yes. So you guys can follow us on Instagram at AMR_digital. If you try any of these tips, tag us in it and we'll give you feedback. We'll comment on your stuff. We're very active on there. You can check out our website, www.amrdigitalmarketing.com. And that's where we are. We're really on Instagram. So if you want to find us, leave us a DM, comment, tag us, and we'll always respond. We're always there.
I love it. Annalise, thank you so much for coming on the show and spending time with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Such an honor. I love your show. So excited to be here.
Oh, thank you. Well, there you have it, guys. Real quick, if you haven't subscribed to this podcast yet, hit that subscribe button right now. Share it with somebody that may get some value out of this as well. And if you haven't left a quick little written review, please head over to iTunes right now and do that. Last but not least, check the show notes. The new and improved Brand Yourself course is out. And if you're looking for the blueprint to help you scale your expertise as a personal brand, I basically took 13 years of my experience and put it in this course. Now, I promise you it won't take you 13 years to go through it, but it is jam-packed with the blueprint to help you get to the next level in your business. So there's the link in the show notes. Go grab it now before I raise the price, because I need to raise the price soon. So have an amazing day, guys, and I'll catch you on the next show. Take care. Bye-bye.